glad you brought that up because I didn't play
it.
No. So ESPN just laid off a bunch of people, right? And that comes after a few months ago they laid off a bunch of people, and they basically stopped covering college football for a while. And they still kind of do, but not really. And, they've got, is it Pete Thamel now is at ESPN, and you've got Ryan McGee that writes college football during the season, but they really don't cover it anymore the way they used to. So they do all that, and then this is the kind of stuff that they have invested millions in, and this is what the worldwide leader in sports puts on the airwaves now. As opposed to when I was a kid growing up, ESPN was the pinnacle of everything. I depended on them for everything, and I loved everything about what they did because every team felt important. This was this week on the worldwide leader in sports.
Courtney mentioned that Anthony Rendon is also out for the Angels.
Who cares? I wish him well.
It takes out their top. I'm just going to say it takes out their top 3 players in order of payroll and.
Okay. Let me say something, Houston. I wish him well. I'm not talking about not wishing him, and I'm not rooting against him being healthy or whatever. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, no one cares about you. No one. I don't even know. I've been in L.A. quite often. I never hear anybody talking about the Angels. We love driving by the stadium. It looks really nice. No one cares. You're irrelevant, period. That's why I said
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
So
that's one of those things that like you can't say that, but it's so true. I know you don't like it, but that is nobody does care. But when you bill yourself as the worldwide leader in sports, you can't say that people don't care about a certain team.
It's a professional sports franchise. I mean, that is the face of ESPN. If you ask the just a man on the street, name an ESPN personality. It's either him or Scott Van Pelt. And they put Van Pelt on at midnight, and he outperforms all of these other garbage shows. But that is the voice, the face of the quote-unquote worldwide leader in sports that says that about a professional team that is currently in the playoff hunt. Now, make your jokes about they haven't won with Ohtani and Trout, but right now they are certainly within reach. And they've been decimated by injuries lately, but they're certainly in the playoff hunt. So a team that is not bad, not great, but not bad, and currently rosters a generational player, the best player since Babe Ruth, and a lot of people argue that he's better. One of the, if not the greatest talent of all time. Will he become the greatest player of all time if he keeps this up? Yes. Hadn't done it yet. But if he keeps this up, yes. And he's on the roster. And that's the message that comes out of that place. And that's all the time. That is constant. And so when you, or if you're like me, television ratings interest me. For some reason, I'm interested. When there's a big college football game, I like to know how many people watched it the next day. Same thing with all the other sports. I feel like I understand it well, and it interests me. College football is clearly, by far, the second most popular sports item in this country. And there's not a close second. It is the NFL, which is way up here, and then there's a pretty significant step below the NFL, and it's college football. And then there's another really significant step before you get to the other sports. And ESPN, who spends billions to air college football, treats it like it's nothing. I can't wrap my mind around it. And so when they make all these cuts, and I've read some reaction to all that as well, ESPN clearly is investing in the stuff that works. Are they? Because they don't cover college football. They don't cover it. And it's the second most popular thing that they air, and they only air one NFL game a week. How many college football games do they air a week? Dozens. And it's an afterthought. But boy, we get more Dame Lillard takes, that's for sure. And we get to hear about how the team that rosters the best player in baseball is irrelevant. It's so sad what they've become. Every time I see a clip like that, it blows my mind. Because what you used to be was everybody matters. Every game matters. Every team matters. College football matters. And now, let's talk about Dame Lillard. Because that's what the sports fan right now is super interested in. Is Dame Lillard's trade request to Miami. Yeah. That's what the people want, for sure.